We're going to begin in a minute with Hine Matov. If you know it, you'll sing along. It's translated, the Hebrew translated says, how sweet and pleasant it is for us, for brothers and sisters to be together. And especially on this afternoon of celebration. We are grateful for that. If you know it, please sing along. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Gam yachad, hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad, hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad, hine matov u'manayim, yeah, shevet achim gam yachad. Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Shabbat Shalom, Cantor. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome. We are so grateful to have you here celebrating Ryder together with us. My name is Rabbi Josh Noble, joined by Cantor Doug Kotler. Whether you're joining us here in person or from afar, it is a privilege to celebrate Ryder and to celebrate Shabbat with all of you. That being said, there are a couple of ground rules we probably want to know so that we can get the most out of this experience. The first is that the seat cushion underneath your chair can be converted into a flotation device in case of water landing. Truly, it is nice to know where the emergency exit and the bathrooms are. And if you go right out those glass doors and you make a left, they're both conveniently located in the same area should you need them. For those of you joining us online, hopefully you know where your bathrooms are. A couple quick other details. We have two prayer books that we'll be announcing. The first is the blue prayer book that is conveniently located right next to most of you who are here with us in person. For those of us joining online, you'll have our online prayer book that you can access at orami.org. So you're going to be hearing two page numbers. The first page number, if I'm correct, is the book for those people who are here in person. The second page number will be the page number for our virtual prayer book. And last but not least, a lot of us have these amazing devices that allow us to stay connected. I don't know how connected we need to be over the next hour and a half as we're celebrating Ryder. So I'm going to invite you to go ahead and at least either turn it off or set it to stun. Another thing you should know is that we have an amazing photographer here. And try as we might, she's going to take much better pictures than any of us. So we can actually just sit back, relax, and get in the moment. If you know the tunes, when you hear them, just sing. Yes. This is a prayer service. It's not a show. We're all here to pray, and Ryder's ready to lead us in prayer, for which we're very grateful. We're going to continue with a wonderful tune named Ale.
Yep. Nations will not lift up swords anymore. No one will study war. Nations will not lift up swords anymore. No one will study war. Shalom. 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 Shalom.
You ready to get this party started, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm going to invite your parents up here so that they can present you with your talit. It's an interesting notion that we wrap ourselves in our tradition. This garment has 4 fringes, one on each corner of the garment. And we have to wrap ourselves in our tradition according to the Torah to remind ourselves that we are commanded to do certain things. And it's a little different in Judaism than it is in some other traditions. You know, my 4-year-old daughter, who doesn't always think of these things, was talking to me today. She's like, I shared with my sister. I was so nice. Do I get a sticker? And I said, actually, you're expected to be nice. That's sort of the default. Because in Judaism, being nice isn't just a nice to have. We're commanded to be nice. We're expected to go above and beyond. And by wrapping ourselves in our tradition, by doing something one could say is a bit anachronistic, we remind ourselves that sometimes seeing things maybe in a way that can seem out of date can remind us of who we're supposed to be. And so I'm going to invite you to take that talit and recite the blessing before you put it on for the very first time in our presence as a bar mitzvah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lihi atef b'tzitzit.
Amen.
Amen. Right after he puts it on, we're going to chant together a blessing of newness, the Shehechianu, which we reserve for times when we do things for the very first time in our lives, the very first time in a season.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Those of us in the sanctuary, we're going to open up our prayer books to the very, very last page. Remember, it's a Hebrew book. It goes from right to left. We're going to turn to page 388. It's the very last page. At home, if you're using our virtual prayer book, it's page 1. B'ni, take these wings to fly with. Shim ibiti, with these roots you will grow. This is my promise, this is my blessing. You are the promise, you are the blessing. Shema b'ni. God's children come into this shelter. place of peace, a house of prayer, a center of learning, of justice, of giving, where everyone's loved and where everyone cares. Shema B'ni, Shimi Biti, Ufros Aleinu, Ufros Aleinu, Ufros Aleinu, Sukat Shlomecha. Mother comes, the cry of her infant. A young boy reads and becomes a man. Vows are exchanged as two hearts become one. A daughter returns and reads Kaddish again. Shema B'ni, Shimi Biti. So you will fly on wings of eagles, and you will grow like a sturdy tree. This is my promise, this is my blessing. You are the promise, you are the blessing. Shema B'ni, Shimi Biti, Shema B'ni. So we continue in our prayer book with the Chatzi Kaddish, and followed by the Baruch Hu. It's on page 26 and then 28 here in the sanctuary, page 2 at home. If you're able, please rise.
Yigadol v'yikadosh shemei Rabba be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechan uv'yamechan uv'chayei dechol be'Yisrael ba'agala uvizman karib ve'imeru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach le'alam ulamei hamayach yibarach ve'yishtabach ve'yiparar ve'yiromam ve'yinaseh ve'yihadar ve'yinaleh ve'yihalal shemei dekudesha berichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran ve'alma ve'imeru amen.
La 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 la, la 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 la. La We can all have a seat. Ryder, you can have a seat. We'll continue on page 35 in our prayer book and at home on page 3. If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say, then listen, listen to our God. Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen, listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all your might. Write them and learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen. Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter, it gets in the way. And listen, listen to our God. When the wind and the thunder finally disappear, there's still a voice that you will hear if you listen. Listen to our God. You can hear it from the top of the highest hill, from the valley below. It can come from the edge of the universe. It can come from within your soul. Close your eyes and listen. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malachuto. To our God. Let's continue on page 40 here in the sanctuary, page 4 at home. Ryder will lead us in the Micha Mocha. La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar bakodesh. No hilo, oh, say felle, no rot hilo, oh, say felle. עדותך ראובנך בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים זה אלי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם
Together, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 We'll continue with Veshamru, which is on page 44 in the prayer book, page 4 at home.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית
We'll continue with the Amidah, the standing prayer. If you're able, I'll invite you to rise, page 48. Here, page 5 at home.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim ve'Konei Hakol ve'Zocher Chasdei Avo ve'imaho u'mevi geula livnei v'nehem lema'an shemo be'ahava Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah
Page 50 in the prayer book, page 5 at home.
Gibor le'olam Adonai Mechaye hakol ata Rav lehoshia Mechakel chayim bechesed Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim Somich noflim ve'rofei holim Umatir asirim Umekaye Yod HaKol. Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol.
Page 52, page 5.
Kadosh v'shimcha kadosh ukedoshim dechol yom yehallelucha selah Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh.
Please be seated. And we'll turn in our prayer book again to that very, very last page, page 388. If you're at home and worshiping with us, it's page 6. In the garden there's a tree planted by someone who only imagined me. What love, what vision. I marvel at the gift. No fruit could be sweeter than this. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. As my people went from land to land, something passed from hand to hand, and it isn't just the words and stories of the ancient laws and golden glories. It's the way we study, the book we study. It's the way we study, the way. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. Today my life is full of choice, because a young man raised his voice, because a young girl took a chance. I am freedom's inheritance. Years ago they crossed the sea, and they made a life that's come to me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. So in the garden I'll plant a seed, a tree of life for you to read. Fruit will ripen in the sun. The words will sound when I am gone. These are the things I pass along. The fruit, the book, and the song. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me.
So in a moment, we'll begin our Torah service. In order to get it started, we're going to pass the Torah down from your grandmother to your parents, all the way down to you. While we're going it, at one point, you're going to see those ark doors open, and when the ark doors open, we're going to ask you all to please rise. But not yet. First, let us get everybody in position. Thank you. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. Udevar Adonai mirushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah Torah. Baruch shenatan Torah Torah le'amo Yisrael bekidushato. I think I'm supposed to use this thing. So for give or take 3,000 years or so, our people have been passing this along one generation to the next. Its teachings, its ideas, its thoughts informing a new generation of Jews. Now your grandmother and your parents are going to pass it down to you today, Ryder. And I think sometimes we miss what that means. This doesn't mean that your grandmother and your parents want you to do what they've always done. Sometimes that's how we think. They're giving it to you because they know that you're going to interpret what this means for a new generation, but also for us. We're going to be inspired by the way you live your life. We're going to be inspired by what you teach. And so as you receive this Torah today, on the day you become a bar mitzvah, I hope There's like 1% of room in there left between all the training you've done and everything you're thinking about. For that fact that this becomes yours. Even Cantor Kotler and I, we're going to be shaped by what you do with it.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu Gadol, Adonenu Kahadosh. Shema. Put your prayer books on the seat behind you. Clap your hands. Hallelujah.
Cousin Amelia and Aunt Brittany, we could use you up here to help us undress our Torah.
Hallelujah, 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 please be seated. Oh, we're going to read from Torah.
Yeah, it's... So, for those of you who aren't familiar, Ryder doesn't just have to learn a completely foreign language, but like a 1,500-year-old version of a foreign language that's far more remote from modern Hebrew than Shakespearean English is to our English today in order to lead services. Then we got to do a 3,000 to 2,500-year-old version of Hebrew and learn the musical notes that go along with it. But when you get to open up the Torah, those musical notes aren't there.
What?
Neither are the vowels.
Impossible.
It's pretty crazy. So what you're about to hear is it's pretty lovely. Having heard you chant it earlier, what can I say? I'm excited. But so we're going to be reading, and none of this would have been possible without your tutor, of course, Diane Townsend, who made so much time available. And even, is this the first bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah that you're back here for? Is that correct?
Yeah, for a couple of years.
Okay, so
Yep.
thank you so much for joining us.
For our first Aliyah, we're going to call up Uncle Robert and Aunt Carol and Aunt Ann and Uncle Ralph. Please come up. Yamdu Harishon. And Rabbi, we have some blessing prayer sheets. They should be tucked underneath where the water is there. Laminated. No. Yeah. Maybe in the drawer. try opening up the door. Are they in there? Nope. Okay. Well, it looks like they brought them up. Oh, yeah, no? Hmm. What page is it on? 248. 248. So if you have if you're coming up for an aliyah.
We have a big prayer book.
250. It's on page 250 in the prayer book. So if you're coming up for an aliyah and you need the blessing. Baruch et Adonai Hamborach, Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed, Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. Ochi yashuv habasar hachai v'nepach lelavan uva el hakohen v'ra'ahu hakohen v'hine nepach hanega lelavan v'tihar hakohen et hanega tahohu.
Wait, hold it. Yeah, so we did the first one. You were awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now we're give him a handshake or a hug or a kiss and say Mazel Tov. Yeah.
Mazel tov.
For those of you at home, everybody here went like this, which is how we applaud in the sanctuary, because he chanted so beautiful. So you folks can go sit down. You did great. And for our second aliyah, we're calling up Grandma Vera and family friend Cindy Lesht. Please come up. Yamdu Hasheni Chava Greina Bat Shia Mendel V'Chava.
We're also going to invite Lisa and Jeff Wilkin to join.
Right around this side, you got the prayer saying right there.
No.
There's one. Okay. All right.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Amen. Uvasar ki yihye vo ve'oro shechin ve'nirpa ve'haya bimkom hashchin se'ei levana ovaheret levana Adam Damet V'nir'ah El HaKohen.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam atah b'tolteinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Asher koach.
Yep.
Asher
Thank you.
koach.
Give him a hug, give him a kiss if he'll take it. And carefully go back to your seats. Mhm. For our third aliyah, we call up mom and dad. Yamdu Hashlishit Kaliba Bat Chava V'Shimendel.
Now, Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam
Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'nu mikol ha'amin v'naten lanu et haTorah. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. V'ra'ah HaKohen V'hinei ein ba shafal min ha'or Ush'ara hafach lavan V'tim'o HaKohen Negad sara'at hi bashchin paracha V'im yir'ena HaKohen V'hinei ein ba se'ar lavan Usfala einena min ha'or V'hicheha V'hiskiro HaKohen Shivat Yamin.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam v'tzidkenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Mom and Dad, stay on up because we're calling up the bar mitzvah for the final aliyah. Mom and Dad, stay up. Yeah, you need to witness this close and in person. So we call up the bar mitzvah. Yamod harivi habachur habar mitzvah hamaftir Ovadia ben Itkaliba chazak chazak v'nitchazek.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu Torah et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ve'im paso tifseh ba'or ve'timei HaKohen oto negahi ve'im tachteha ta'amod habaheret lo fasata zarevet hashchihi ve'tiharo HaKohen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
All right, that was fabulous. you want to sneak in a mazel tov now, you can. We're going to do a bit more of it later.
Yep.
And
Mazel tov.
Do we get to give him
No, not yet.
sloppy
Not yet.
kisses?
Not yet, no.
not yet. First, we got to get our Torah.
But it was
dress.
really nice, it was really nice, Mom, that you asked.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling, Ryder, the sloppy kisses are coming whether you want or not. But yeah, no, they're coming. It's part of the bar mitzvah process.
Okay, got it. All right, so we're gonna invite Alex and Aiden and Brittany back up here to help us dress.
And
Keith-
Amelia.
Oh, and Amelia, I'm sorry, we're getting there. And then our friend Keith, you might as well come up as well, because you're gonna help us by opening that ark when we return the Torah to the ark.
זאת התורה פלישת אשר משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בו ותומיה מאושר. Please be seated. Mom and Dad, do you have your speeches with you? Now is the time. Please be seated, everyone. Torah, Torah, Shem.
Afternoon. Thank you all for coming today to share this important moment in Ryder's life. Ryder, you've become a man I am very proud of. Academically, you've excelled. You've learned how to learn, a skill that you'll employ for all of your life. In all the sports you play, you're an important team member. You're a formidable first baseman on the diamond, a frightening lineman on the gridiron, and a competitive threat on the basketball court, a swimmer, a bicyclist, and more. In every sport you try, you excel. Socially, you have the ability to comfortably speak with new people and develop strong friendships. You display great kindness and empathy. You have embraced your Jewish faith and learned so much about your religious heritage. You have mastered reading Hebrew and invested many hours preparing for this day, this moment. What more can a young man do? Well, you could keep your room a little cleaner. Ryder, as you navigate through the next few years of your life, you will be molding an impressive future. You have the opportunity to do great things by educating yourself and employing your inborn skills. You are the master of that future. Your mother and I will take great pleasure helping you navigate the future you are building yourself. Your Jewish heritage will always be a guidepost you can rely upon to help you make your best choices. It is a bond to a worldwide community that will make you welcome anywhere and your travels take you. You have made our family's life richer. Your grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and family friends are all sharing this moment with you to celebrate you becoming a bar mitzvah. We all congratulate you.
Ryder, you were amazing. I can't become a bar mitzvah. You can't imagine how proud I am of you. Hard to believe, I'm almost speechless. You do so much to make us proud, but this, I think, is the topper, and I know this is only the beginning. When your dad and I got married, I remember saying to him, I wish we could have a child together. And then there was you. We got a double bonus, not only to have you, but to have a boy after 3 girls. We were blessed with you, and in so many ways. I think I can speak for your 95-year-old grandma in saying she'd never thought she'd live to see the day that a grandson of hers became a bar mitzvah. Ma, you made it. Thank God. I've always called you my little man. Well, I guess I can't say that anymore. Because you're taller than me. Yes, thank you, and I have heels. Seriously, becoming a bar mitzvah, you're considered to be an adult according to Jewish law. You come of age and must take responsibility for your own actions. Oh, by the way, this only applies to being a bar mitzvah and fulfilling the commandments. You are still our little man and probably always will be. My mom used to always tell me, you know your kids have learned to behave not by how they act at home, but how they act outside of the home. Again, thank God for that. From teachers, parents, friends, all I've ever heard is you're so kind and such a good kid, an old soul. My answer, where's my son and what have you done with him? Seriously, you are all these things and more. You are a great friend, very smart, so funny, an amazing athlete, and on and on. Before you know it, you'll be pursuing your dreams. I hope you remember what I always tell you. You can do whatever you want, but you have to work hard through the good and bad and always do your best. When you were little, the last thing I'd tell you when I put you to bed, I love you no matter what, forever and a day, always. And here's the sloppy kiss.
No, later. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My Torah portion is called Tazria, from the book of Leviticus, chapter 13, verses 16 through 23. God and Moses were speaking about how to tell if someone is clean or unclean. If someone was unclean, they would have to be isolated. This unclean person would then have to go see the priest to get cleared and return back to the community, or to further isolate. If I could relate to this story, it would be the time I came back from Vegas and was exposed to COVID. After finding out I was exposed, I had to quarantine. Just like if someone tested positive for COVID, they would also have to isolate for a certain amount of time. Although I was happy I did not have to go to school, I am sure there are people that feel left out of the community when in quarantine. I think that God wanted the unclean person to be isolated from the community so that they did not spread the infection or disease. Similarly, we must do the same for COVID in order to keep the community healthy. I wanted to become a bar mitzvah so I can become a man in the eyes of Judaism. This means that I can do more adult-like things, like stay up later and possibly have some independence from reporting to my parents when homework is finished. My parents wanted me to become a bar mitzvah so I could learn Hebrew. Neither of them were able to become a bar or bat mitzvah, so they want me to be able to experience it, even though they were unable to. The hardest part of becoming a bar mitzvah is learning the prayers, especially without the lines and arrows that Diane uses when teaching me. Chanting Torah is also hard and confusing. The best part of this process was learning Hebrew so I can participate during Shabbat services. There are certain responsibilities that I have now that I'm a Jewish adult. One of these responsibilities is I wear a talit. A talit is a cape for your shoulders that has little strings called tzitzit on the ends of it. These strings remind us of the commandments in the Torah. We wear a talit to show respect to the commandments, and now we have gone through the bar mitzvah process and know some of the commandments. I can also now read from the Torah because I'm a bar mitzvah, the verses and stories that tell how Judaism started. I get to be called up to recite the Aliyah blessings before and after Torah. These are prayers that praise God and bless the Torah. You only participate in these blessings after you become a bar mitzvah. A minyan is a group of 10 adults that are needed to say certain prayers like Baruch Hu. Now that I am a bar mitzvah, I can be counted as one of these 10 adults. My mitzvah project was volunteering at the ORME 4th through 6th grade day retreat as a staff member. I had to help watch the kids and make sure they did not get hurt. I had to attend meetings to learn what to do as a staff member. I led the water balloon toss and participated in sports games. I enjoyed doing it because I helped little kids get better at sports. It also showed little kids that I liked being involved with ORME, and I want to be there and that volunteering at ORME is cool. Now I'd like to thank some people that made this all happen. Mom, thank you for always being there for me and for buying me things I want, especially when I'm down. I know I tell you I do not like you watching me play my sports, but I actually do. Thank you for watching me and supporting me. I appreciate it. I love you. Dad, you know I love it when you come to my sports games. I really love your cooking, especially lasagna, pizza, and homemade pasta. Thank you for taking me to school every morning. You're wonderful. I love you. Ken, I always love when I get to see you because we can spend more time together. I love going out with you and watching movies and going to the arcade. Thank you for being the best grandpa in the world. I love you. Grandma, thank you for always being close to me and cheering me up before and after every game. You always say, I know you played hard. I love hanging out, and when we put my dog Noodles together, I really appreciate it, and I love you too. Diane, thank you for helping me get through the hard learning of the Torah and prayers. Thank you for helping me feel confident today. Cantor Doug, I know you are leaving soon, but I wanted to thank you for being at ORME whenever kids are there. Thank you for playing the music and singing during my service. Rabbi Julia, thank you for creating such awesome retreats that we go on for temple. I really appreciate you helping me write this Devar Torah and making this service so special. Thank you for helping me feel confident to help lead the service today. To all my friends and family, thank you for being here or watching my service online to help me celebrate, become a bar mitzvah. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Semen tov, mazel tov, semen tov, semen tov, mazel tov, semen tov, semen tov, mazel tov, semen tov.
So, friends, you guys have been awesome. This really wouldn't happen without you. We can't just do this with the three of us. It doesn't quite work that way. As he mentioned, you need 10 people to really have a service like this. That being said, right after I thank you, I'm going to tell you, I got to steal him just for a few moments. It's one of the privileges I get, even as a replacement rabbi, I get this privilege of giving you a blessing on becoming a bar mitzvah. I'm going to steal you, but then I'll give him back. Don't worry about it. You'll still get to have all those sloppy kisses.
No, please don't.
We are gifts, we are blessings, we are history in song. We are hope, and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. We are words, we are stories, we are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. L'dor vador nagid godlecha, l'dor vador we protect this chain from generation to generation. L'dor vador, these lips will praise your name. Looking back on the journey that we carry in our hearts, from the shadow of the mountain to the waters that would part. We are blessed, we are holy, we are children of your way, and the words that bring us meaning, we will have the strength to say. L'dor vador nagid godlecha, l'dor vador we protect this chain from generation to generation. L'dor vador, these lips will praise your name.
That's yours.
That's a good one.
You have friends, you have relatives here to celebrate, you have people joining online to celebrate you, but in any service, we also take a moment to acknowledge those people who are not here, the people who are celebrating you today in spirit, because they could not be here in person. And so we want to acknowledge all those who are here with us today in spirit. Is anyone currently sitting Shiva the first 7 days of mourning, or Shloshim the first 30 days of mourning, or observing a Yortzeit, the anniversary of a loved one's passing? If you are, please rise. Are there any names that people wish to add of those who are here with us in spirit this afternoon? Thank you for honoring his memory with us.
Joe and Florence Nelson.
Thank you for honoring their memory with us.
Bobby Chapin,
Thank you for honoring his memory with us.
Morton Ship.
Thank you.
Bob and Ruth Kabakoff.
Of course. As we remember them, we rise for Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, which can be found on page 294 in your Sidurim. And you count for the very first time as one saying the Kaddish this afternoon. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba, bi'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayichon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'v'zman kari v'yimru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach leolam le'omeo maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpoar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha b'rechu, v'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemayim, V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Zichronam Livracha, we ask that the memory of our loved ones be a blessing now and always.
Put your prayer books on the seat behind you. Let's remain standing, and you can put the prayer books down.
So just as we have to bid farewell to this moment, we also have to bid farewell to Shabbat, and we do so with ritual objects to remind us of the sweetness of Shabbat that we want to take with us into the week to come, just as we want to remember the sweetness of this moment of you becoming a bar mitzvah here with our community and with your family, and everything about it that we're going to take into the days and the years to come. We have our wine, we have our spices, and we have our candle. We sort of go up the face as we make our blessings from our wine to the spices that we smell, to the candle that we see, and then finally we make a blessing of separation between Shabbat, between the Kodesh and the whole and the everyday.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Borei minei v'samim.
Borei minei v'samim. Borei minei v'samim. Ya-da-da-da-da. Ya-la-da-da-da-da. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Borei me'orei ha'esh.
Borei me'orei ha'esh. Borei me'orei ha'esh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Hamavdil ben kodesh l'chol.
המבדיל בין קודש לחול. המבדיל בין קודש לחול. אליהו הנביא, אליהו התשבי, אליהו, אליהו, אליהו הגלעדי, במהרה בימינו יבוא אלינו, Shavua Tov, a good week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase.
Well, friends, you did it, buddy.
We have a bar mitzvah.
Or you're not going to mob him? You're not going
Yeah.
to do the sloppy kiss thing? What
Come
about-
on. It's sloppy kiss time.
Sloppy kiss time.
Lynn, are there any instructions to our assembled congregation as to?
Well, we're early,
Oh, are we early?
and the bar's not open there yet.
Okay.
We'll go ahead, well, we have pictures, I guess I don't know.
We could take a picture of the whole group.
What?
We could take a picture of the whole group.
Yeah, I'd like that, but I lost my mask.
I'm sure we can find a there you go. You got a replacement.
Yeah, I'd love to get a picture of everybody.
Can we do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we even have a photographer here.
I still need to do a wardrobe adjustment here. So hold that, Maria.
I'll be right back.
All right, in a minute, our photographer is going to start putting. Are you just going to take a picture of the crowd, or do you want to put them in position somewhere? Yeah, so if you're in the eaves, if you'd be willing to come in for the photo, if they want to get a photo of everybody, they're just going to do a crowd surfing. So Ryder is just going to jump in. You guys have to catch him and hold him up for the photo. No? No. Okay. He's going to come. He's going to come get a seat. Just make sure you save a seat for him where he can be safe from the sloppy kisses that have been promised. That's what I've been asked to make sure we make happen.